Welcome back to Vita Prime Health. I'm Dr. Eleanor Vance from Stanford, and today we're diving into the absolute foundation of your well-being, a tiny molecule responsible for virtually every aspect of your vitality. We're talking about nitric oxide, a silent hero that controls your blood flow, your heart health, your energy, and yes, your sexual function. If you've been feeling a decline in your stamina, struggling with brain fog, or worrying about your cardiovascular health, the answer often comes down to optimizing this molecule. Our goal today is to go deep into the science and emerge with a clear, evidence-based roadmap for boosting your circulation and achieving optimal health at any age. I promise you, the most important, life-changing methods, the ones that leverage specific diet and lifestyle practices for maximum anti-aging benefit, are held within the last 3/4 of this episode. So please, stay with me until the very end so you don't miss a single crucial step. Nitric oxide is a gas, but don't let that simplicity fool you. In 1998, 3 American scientists won the Nobel Prize for discovering that this gas is actually a powerful signaling molecule in the body. It acts as a potent vasodilator, which means it signals your smooth muscle cells to relax, causing your arteries and blood vessels to widen. When your vessels are relaxed and wide, your blood flow is efficient, and that is everything. Think of it like this. If your blood vessels are like a freeway, nitric oxide is the signal that opens all the lanes and clears out the congestion. Good circulation means oxygen and nutrients can be delivered efficiently everywhere, from your heart and muscles to your brain and your most intimate tissues. The decline of this molecule as we age is one of the single biggest predictors of reduced energy and poorer physical performance. Understanding how to restore this simple process is the key to reclaiming your youth. I want to pause here and ask you, the listener, a personal question. What is the biggest daily struggle you face that you suspect is related to poor circulation? Is it morning stiffness, cold hands and feet, or perhaps a lack of drive? Share it in the comments below. Let's build a community of authentic people committed to tackling these deep health challenges together. The science of nitric oxide production in your body is elegantly simple, yet easily compromised. Your body primarily makes it through 2 pathways. The first involves the amino acids L-arginine and L-citrulline, which your body converts to nitric oxide. The second, often overlooked pathway is the nitrate-nitrite nitric oxide pathway, which is activated through food. This is where leafy greens and beetroots come into play. When you consume foods rich in inorganic nitrates, like spinach, arugula, and beets, your saliva starts the conversion process, and beneficial bacteria on your tongue convert those nitrates into nitrites. When those nitrites hit the acidic environment of your stomach, they are rapidly converted into nitric oxide, ready to flood your system and relax those blood vessels. Now let's talk about the problem, the reason why simply eating a salad once in a while doesn't cut it. After age 40, and sometimes even earlier, the enzyme responsible for converting L-arginine to nitric oxide, called nitric oxide synthase, begins to function less efficiently. Stress, inflammation, smoking, and a sedentary lifestyle all accelerate this decline. Imagine your body is trying to run a marathon, but the main engine is slowly losing power. You feel it as a creeping sense of low vitality, a need for an afternoon nap that wasn't there before, and a subtle but noticeable drop in your mental sharpness, that frustrating brain fog. The problem isn't necessarily a sudden failure. It's a systemic slowdown at the micro level, cell by cell, molecule by molecule. This cellular slowdown isn't just about nitric oxide, it's about the very foundation of renewal. When our internal systems begin to slow down, every aspect of our health suffers, and that often traces back to the capability of our master cells to repair and restore tissue. Are you constantly battling that nagging feeling that your body just isn't recovering the way it used to? Do you notice a persistent, subtle decline in your energy, your physical resilience, or the rock-solid sense of wellness you once took for granted. The problem may not just be the inevitable march of time, but the natural slowdown in your body's ability to renew and repair itself. Your body's master cells, or stem cells, become less abundant and less active as you age. That's why we created STEM Active Premium Stem Cell Activator. STEM Active is a powerful, all-natural supplement designed to support your body's own master cells. Stem cells constitute a key role in renewing the body that impacts tissue repair and maintaining optimal health. Essentially, stem cells are released by your bone marrow and travel via the bloodstream toward all organs and tissues to promote the body's natural process of renewal and repair. There's a direct correlation between the number of circulating stem cells and the ability of the body to reach and maintain optimal health. By leveraging clinically researched ingredients like Madagascan aloe macroclada, which is proven to increase the number of circulating stem cells by an average of 40 to 60%, and Tibetan sea buckthorn extract, which is scientifically documented to trigger the mobilization of bone marrow stem cells, STEM Active works to dramatically increase the number of these vital cells in your bloodstream. This supports everything from tissue repair and organ function to sustained energy and overall vitality. This groundbreaking formula, which is vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free, is proudly made in the USA under the strictest quality guidelines. Don't let the natural aging process dictate your energy and your health. Take proactive control. Scan the QR code on your screen now or click the link in the description to learn how STEM Active can support your health from the cellular level up. There's absolutely no risk to give it a try because they back every bottle with a simple, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Give your body the support it needs to feel young and vital again. Try STEM Active today. Now let's turn back to the advanced strategies for optimizing nitric oxide and taking back control of your blood flow. The discovery of nitric oxide as a fundamental biological mechanism was transformative, and the sheer breadth of its function is still being studied. In the medical world, it was first understood as a mysterious chemical that relaxed the smooth muscles of the heart and blood vessels. In fact, nitroglycerin tablets, which have been used to treat angina since the 1870s, work by releasing nitric oxide to immediately open the coronary arteries. It took over a century for us to understand the actual mechanism of how that little tablet worked. This historical context shows us that our bodies have always relied on this molecule, but only recently have we understood how to truly support it through targeted practices. Let me share an anecdote. I had a patient, a high-powered attorney we'll call David, who was only 55 but had the vascular system of a 70-year-old. His main complaint wasn't just low energy, it was cold hands and feet that were almost painful. His sexual function was suffering, which compounded his stress. We didn't start with medication. We started with nitric oxide integration. I prescribed a daily glass of concentrated beet juice, nature's nitric oxide booster, and 30 minutes of brisk walking. Within 3 weeks, he reported that his hands and feet were consistently warm, his brain fog had lifted by noon, and his self-reported stamina in all areas of his life had markedly improved. The simple fact that his circulation was better changed his entire physiology. David's story is powerful because it highlights that lifestyle changes often provide a rapid, profound impact that supplements alone cannot match. However, there are many common myths about how to boost nitric oxide. The most pervasive is the idea that taking a simple L-arginine pill will solve all your blood flow problems. This is a misconception. While L-arginine is a precursor, oral L-arginine is heavily processed by the gut and liver, meaning very little actually makes it into your bloodstream to be converted into nitric oxide. L-citrulline is a far superior oral supplement because the body converts it to L-arginine in the kidneys before it enters the bloodstream, bypassing much of that initial breakdown. Therefore, if you choose the supplement route, look for L-citrulline. or even better, a blend that utilizes the benefits of both, such as Prime. A second myth is that nitric oxide is only relevant to men's sexual health. This completely ignores the vital role of blood flow in female arousal, lubrication, and climax. Furthermore, nitric oxide is essential for maintaining smooth muscle tone and reducing stiffness and soreness in both men and women, directly impacting how well you can move and how fast you recover from exercise. Let's dive deeper into lifestyle integrations and daily practices that maximize your body's ability to create and use this essential molecule. First, dietary timing is key. The nitrate pathway, which we discussed earlier, relies on the bacteria on your tongue. Using antibacterial mouthwash destroys these essential bacteria, halting the entire process for up to 12 hours. If you are serious about nitric oxide production, you must ditch the conventional mouthwash. Second, movement. Any exercise that raises your heart rate, a brisk walk, swimming, or cycling, stimulates the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels to actively release nitric oxide. This is an immediate, powerful feedback loop. Exercise increases blood flow, which tells the vessels to create more nitric oxide, which further increases blood flow. This is why a consistent, moderate exercise habit is the ultimate anti-aging practice. Third, the power of breath. This is where mindfulness meets physiology. Chronic stress and anxiety often lead to rapid, shallow mouth breathing, which disrupts the delicate balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. To stabilize your breathing and maximize nitric oxide production, practice nasal breathing. Nasal breathing actually triggers the release of nitric oxide in the nasal cavity, carrying it into the lungs where it can aid in oxygen absorption. The simple act of breathing slowly through your nose for 5 minutes can instantly promote relaxation in your vascular system. Fourth, sunlight exposure. Certain wavelengths of UV light, specifically UVA, interact with a reserve of nitrates stored in the skin. This interaction causes the rapid release of nitric oxide into the bloodstream, which is a key reason why blood pressure often drops when we are exposed to sunlight. You don't need to bake in the sun, but 15 to 20 minutes of safe, direct sun exposure on exposed skin can be a powerful free tool for vascular health. I had another patient, a woman named Emily, who was struggling with inexplicable headaches and profound fatigue. She worked an intense desk job and rarely exercised. Her blood pressure was high, and she felt completely disconnected from her body. We introduced her to the concept of nitric oxide primarily through diet and nasal breathing exercises. We cut out mouthwash and added a daily small shot of beet juice, and she committed to 5 minutes of slow nasal breathing before starting work. Within 6 weeks, her headaches were almost gone. Her energy was better, but more importantly, she felt a sense of control over her body that she hadn't felt in years. She realized the fatigue wasn't a moral failing. It was a biological one that she could fix. This brings us to a more complex clinical study. Researchers at Johns Hopkins found that the decline in nitric oxide production can directly impair cognitive function. Because the brain is a high-demand organ that requires a massive, consistent supply of oxygen and glucose. Any reduction in blood flow due to poor vasodilation can manifest as brain fog and difficulty with short-term memory. This study confirmed that nitric oxide therapy, whether through diet or supplementation, showed measurable improvements in executive function in older adults. Therefore, taking care of your cardiovascular health is directly taking care of your mind. The emotional component of this is essential. When you feel physically weak, when your body is stiff and your mind is clouded, it's impossible to connect authentically with others or with yourself. By restoring your vitality at the molecular level, you are rebuilding your self-confidence, your resilience, and your ability to engage fully with life. I want to invite you to comment below again. What is one specific new dietary change, beets, arugula, or ditching mouthwash, that you are going to commit to this week to boost your nitric oxide? Let's address some of the detailed questions I receive from the Vita Prime community. Question: I take blood pressure medication. Is it safe to try to boost my nitric oxide through diet and supplements? This is an extremely important question that requires professional guidance. Because nitric oxide is a powerful natural vasodilator, it essentially performs the same function as many blood pressure medications. If you increase your nitric oxide levels significantly through diet or concentrated supplements, such as Prime, you could potentially lower your blood pressure too much, leading to dizziness or fainting. You absolutely must consult your primary care physician or cardiologist before making any significant change in diet or starting nitric oxide boosting supplements so that your medication dosage can be safely monitored and adjusted. Question: how quickly can I expect to feel a difference after starting a nitric oxide boosting diet? The effects can be surprisingly rapid, often within a few days to a week. Because the nitrate pathway is so direct and immediate, drinking concentrated beet juice can produce measurable improvements in blood flow within hours. However, the true, sustained benefits, the lifting of chronic brain fog, the increase in long-term stamina, the sustained improvement in sexual function, typically take 4 to 6 weeks of consistent daily practice, including the dietary changes and regular exercise. Question: is there a certain time of day when my nitric oxide levels are naturally lowest, and when should I target my supplements or foods? Your nitric oxide levels are naturally lowest in the morning, which contributes to morning stiffness and a slower start to the day. This is an optimal time to consume your nitric oxide-rich foods, such as a smoothie with spinach or beet powder, to counteract this natural dip and promote better blood flow throughout the day. Many athletes also target a nitric oxide boost about 90 minutes before exercise to maximize its performance-enhancing effects. Question: I hear a lot about nitric oxide supplements for workouts, but what is its main benefit for non-athletes over 50? For non-athletes over 50, the primary benefit of optimized nitric oxide is better systemic circulation, which directly translates to two main benefits. First, reduced cardiovascular risk because relaxed, flexible arteries are less prone to damage and high blood pressure. And second, enhanced cognitive function due to more consistent blood flow and oxygen supply to the brain, combating age-related memory issues and brain fog. It's about maintaining healthy organ function and mental clarity. Question: can stress really deplete my nitric oxide levels? Yes, absolutely. Stress is a profound inhibitor of nitric oxide production. When you are under chronic stress, your body releases high levels of cortisol, which is a vasoconstrictor and an inflammatory agent. This inflammatory environment, particularly high levels of free radicals, directly destroys the already fragile nitric oxide molecule as soon as it is produced, effectively canceling out its beneficial effects. This is why stress management practices like meditation and deep breathing are not just for your mind. They are essential for your vascular health. Question: I suffer from cold extremities, even in warm weather. Is this a nitric oxide issue? It is very likely a circulation issue, and therefore a nitric oxide issue. Cold hands and feet are a classic symptom of poor peripheral blood flow. When your body's vessels are constricted or stiff due to age, inflammation, or low nitric oxide, the body prioritizes sending blood flow to the core organs, leaving the extremities with inadequate circulation. Consistent nitric oxide boosting practices are the most powerful natural way to reverse this and restore warmth and proper function to the limbs. Remember, the journey to true optimal health is about making consistent, informed choices that support your body's innate wisdom. By focusing on boosting your nitric oxide, you are not just treating symptoms. You are addressing the foundational mechanism of blood flow and vitality. You are choosing a path of resilience, clarity, and powerful self-confidence. If you found the evidence-based, warm, and comprehensive approach of this monologue helpful in deepening your understanding of your health and intimate relationships, I urge you to take one last step. Please subscribe to VitaPrime Health right now. By subscribing, you ensure this crucial, life-changing information keeps reaching you every week. And if you have a family member or a close friend who you know could benefit from moving past the myths and embracing this science of connection, please share this episode with them. Good health, profound confidence, and unforgettable intimacy should be accessible to everyone. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to continuing this vital journey with you next time.